Omega level, Omega
level.
No other being has ever had the might, nay the nobility.
Hey, how's it going? It's your boy Jersh Manhunter. Make sure you check out our social medias, Instagram, Omega_level_podcast, and at Facebook, Omega Level Podcast. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can find us at Omega Level Podcast. Man, that's a lot of podcasts, but here we go. Anchor, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, sure, that's a thing, and all of the other ones. Thanks for listening. Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back to Omega Level. Oh, I hate you so fucking much.
No, do it. Come on, you're good. Do it.
What? I knew it. I wasn't
gonna do it.
This week, welcome back to Omega Level.
Hey.
Yeah, welcome.
What's everybody?
Oh my God, I hate
want
you.
that guy.
I
want
hate
that
you. Welcome back to Omega Level Podcast. As you've already heard us both say about 20 times now, this is going to be our comic episode, comic edition. Let's talk comics. Comic talk. Comics are a thing. Picture books.
And this is also our 30th anniversary of Comic Talk. And
this is our Aren't Those for Kids episode.
Hey! Shots fired.
Picture books.
I'm an adult. I don't play video games.
On this episode, we are going to talk about the new relaunch of fucking X-Men by Jonathan Hickman.
Whoop.
House of 10 and Powers of X.
I thought it's Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah, Jonathan Hickman.
Okay.
House of 10, Powers of X, a.k.a. House of X, Powers of 10.
Okay, I was like, damn.
But before we jump into that, we have a bit of exciting news.
Breaking news.
I'm really excited about it. Josh was kind of ambivalent. He was a little annoyed, actually.
I don't care about one of my favorite actors.
Andy Serkis has just been confirmed to be the director for the Venom sequel.
Woot.
Very excited about that. Very inspired choice. He definitely can't do a worse job than Ruben Fleischer did with the first Venom. And I am one of the people, and I believe Josh as well, that actually enjoyed that movie.
I enjoyed the movie.
I didn't think it was amazing. It was like a 7.
It had its problems.
It was like a 7. It was a good movie.
It was fun. Eddie Brock was great. It was a different take, too, in a way.
I liked
wasn't what you...
I mean, I get the complaint, I guess the complaint about it, that it seemed like Tom Hardy was in 20 different movies. And he kind of was, because the director just let him do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Dude, yeah.
He said he filmed so much shit, they probably could have made 2 movies.
Jesus.
With Eddie Brock.
That much?
Yeah, they filmed so much. It literally just said action and let him do what he wanted.
Be weird. Be crazy. Be mad. Be sad.
But I enjoyed it. It was a good time. It was entertaining. I think Andy Serkis will make a much tighter film.
And have a female Venom, dude. That was dope.
Better handle on it. Yeah, I love that we got She-Venom for like a quick second. I love that Michelle Williams is in this universe. I love her. It's one of my favorite actresses. And we got Woody Harrelson coming in to be fucking Carnage. Oh, Cletus Cassidy.
Cletus.
I'm so hyped about that, dude. I think he's going to crush it.
Should. Woody's a good guy.
With his carrot top. So, yeah, very excited about that. Also saw...
Andy's worked with Andy Serkis on War.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he was the villain of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they have a bit of familiarity.
Well, he didn't direct War. My boy Matt Reeves.
He was in it.
He was in it. He was the main, wonderful, greatest protagonist put on screen.
This would be his 3rd directorial effort, yes?
Yes.
Breathe and Mowgli.
Which is on Netflix.
Yeah, Mowgli's
I don't know where you can watch Breathe.
Mowgli's a Netflix original, so you can definitely
really
watch it on
good.
there.
I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I did too. I like The Jungle Book more, but Mowgli is a great movie in its own right. They work really well as companion pieces.
I actually like Mowgli more.
They work very well
Jungle
as
Book
companion.
looked way better, but it's Disney.
Yeah.
So of course it looks way better.
They work great as companion pieces. Like if you watch one, then the next day you watch the other one, because it's different takes of the same story. The Jungle Book obviously is lighter.
Yes.
Mowgli's more of the darker.
Mowgli is more
of the original actual story.
Yes.
Yeah. They're both very good.
And they had the mocap in that one.
Yeah.
You know? And it was Imaginarium, which is just the greatest mocapping on the planet right now.
Yeah, they like pretty much
thanks to James Cameron, but Andy Serkis is what's perfected it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then we got some other news in that apparently the director of Deadpool 2, David Leitch, I think is how you say his last name. I'm not sure. David Karen.
That was the first one. That was the first one. Is he coming back for the 3rd one?
No, they said Deadpool 2 director. That's the guy that did the second one.
Okay,
yeah.
then who's the one that did Atomic Blonde?
That's the guy that did the first one, I think.
He helped with the first one, and then he did all of Atomic Blonde.
Yeah.
And then he helped with the shorts, No Man Deeds, or No Good Deeds.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
The one where he's like yelled at Stan Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Booth.
Yeah. So he said that Deadpool doesn't necessarily have to be rated R. And they're doing this to try to get Deadpool in the MCU, which Ryan Reynolds has always made little jokes about, and it seems like he is very much into the idea that he wants Deadpool in the MCU.
But his movies can be R, and then he can be PG-13 in the movies, because he's not going to be a big focal point of any of the team-ups.
He never even is. He'll just be around.
Exactly. He's just there, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But his movies have to be rated R.
I would love them. Like I love them as rated R, and I don't want to see them change. I don't think they have to be, But to maintain the quality of what they've already been, I think they've kind of already put themselves in a position where now they have to be.
We already have a movie that is PG-13 Deadpool. So
I haven't
you can
seen it
watch
yet.
it. I haven't watched it either.
Once Upon a Deadpool?
Yep. And of course, I think people are over analyzing that now that they have the confirmation. There was more positive reviews when it first dropped than when this news broke out, and now there's more negative. Like, oh, we saw the PG-13 version, it sucked, it was stupid.
Yeah,
I saw more negative now that news
absolutely.
has been released
Almost,
than when the movie itself dropped.
Almost everything I saw when it came out was like it was cool but unnecessary.
Yeah,
It's like we've already seen this movie.
Yep.
Like this wasn't
It's
necessary.
like now you have a reason to send your
but
kids.
now they're
Sure.
like, oh, it was terrible.
Yeah. Now you have a reason
Please.
to have your kids influenced by this character that is not supposed to be for children. So now you're just assuming like, oh, I want to watch the second one. Sorry, we can't because it's fucking awful. Like, it's very grotesque. It's very crude. Like, and that's the Wade Wilson I know and love. That's the Ryan Reynolds I know and love. Dude cusses nonstop.
Yeah. Granted, in the comics, it is like bleeped out.
Yes.
And they could do the movie. I wouldn't want a bleeping sound that would get way too fucking annoying. But you never know what curse word
Bleeping
he's
works for
actually
TV shows,
saying.
not movies.
Exactly, yeah. You never know what word he's actually saying. Like, you can infer usually what it is from just what you're reading. Yeah. But it always could be anything, you know?
Like, what the bleep's going on? You clearly know he's saying what the fuck's going on.
Exactly, yeah.
Or what the hell?
But
Even
if he's
hell.
like,
but I've seen him say hell in
if he's
comics.
like, all bleep, I can't believe this happened. That could be shit. That could be fuck. Like, you don't know. You know what I mean? So they could make a Deadpool movie where he says the F word one time, the amount they're allotted, and then he just says the maximum amount of curse words they're allowed to put in the film for the rest of it, to where it's like teetering on, it's almost R-rated. They could get away with that. But that's only for the language.
Yeah, gore
so the violence and gore have to be
cutting
toned down.
Yeah.
The themes of what they do and cover would have to be toned down.
Yeah.
It can't be too adult.
Can't have that whole sexual.
That's what I'm not going to
legs
like.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm not going to like.
Yeah.
I don't think the joke about his penis growing back would have ever flown in a PG-13 movie.
Shirt cocking?
Yeah, you can't have that.
That whole scene
And
would
that's
have been
Deadpool. Like, I want that.
See, yeah, that was Deadpool too, wasn't it?
No, I'm saying, something like that, but that's Deadpool. Like,
Shirt
I want
cocking.
that in a Deadpool movie.
Yeah, of
And
course.
I don't think you could put that in a PG-13 version.
Nope.
Yeah. You got to have shirt cocking. If there's no shirt cocking in
Dude.
it, I don't know if I want to see it.
I mean, that was one of the best scenes. He drops down his little legs. He's staring up at TJ Miller.
You're just straight shirt cocking it. Was that in the first? That was in the first.
That was in the first one.
That's the first
See,
one. Yeah,
I have
because
to
TJ
watch
Miller's
the
not in the
PG-13.
second
Yeah, I
one.
was about to say, we'll have to see the PG-13 one.
Yeah.
See if they have that scene in there.
Wait, I thought PG-13 was for the second one.
That was the Once Upon a Time Deadpool. That was the. Oh, it was
the
the
second
second
one,
Once
I
Upon a
thought. Yeah,
Time
with
was the second
Cable.
one. You're right,
Yeah.
because they mentioned the. Yep. I remember.
Also.
What's his name? Peter, right?
Yeah, Peter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here, man. Get out of here. You don't want any part of this. This is dangerous.
They confirmed, by the way, that like Peter is still alive.
Well, they did that with the after credit scene. When
Oh,
when
yeah,
he
right,
was traveling through time,
that's
he told
right,
him to
yeah.
leave. He
Peter's
was like,
still
"Go.
alive."
You do not want to do this.
That's amazing. He's
yeah,
surviving.
I'm so glad they did that.
If he's part of the MCU, there's no way he didn't survive the snap. He's too powerful to kill. You can't kill him. Oh, man. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. That gives me some pause. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Especially when Disney was already saying that, like,
We're not gonna
Deadpool
change
remain
this.
its own thing. So I fully believe that if it does go PG-13, it's at the, like, it's because Ryan Reynolds wants
But
it.
then they also gives us like Blade, man. Like they can have a team up, rated R. Boom. We
Yeah,
have
dude.
Blade and Deadpool. And
I don't know how you make a PG-13 Blade. I don't know how it happens. Blade is so gory.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it, man. His whole entire thing is killing vampires. He's not subduing them. He goes and straight kills vampires. That's Blade's mission. That's what he does.
Yeah, but well, you can kill vampires. They'll turn to dust. They'll take away the blood.
Yeah. I mean, we still don't know if Blade's a movie. It could easily be a Hulu TV show. So it could be
True. I was
more-
going to say
it could be more
Mahershala Ali
mature.
just did True Detective.
Yeah, it
so
could be more mature on Hulu.
I hope it's a movie.
I do too, for sure. Hope it's a movie. I
It's
don't see
gonna-
Blade in
it's
the
going to take
MCU.
someone like that to finally get an acting nom. He's two-time Oscar. Apparently, the Academy already
Oh, they
fucking
fucking
loves
love
the dude.
Mahershala,
So
yeah.
it-
I still
hope it's not that
cannot
long.
believe that Brolin was not nominated. It's a fucking travesty.
It really is.
Travesty.
It's a fucking joke.
The greatest
That's
mocap
something.
performance ever.
Second.
Second. Better than anything that's
Second.
far better than anything that's ever been done. in
I
that
will leave
field.
this motherfucking room
I hope
right
so.
now.
I hope so. Snap yourself away.
Human work.
Caesar's a bitch. Fuck Caesar.
You did not say this about the.
Caesar's not inevitable. Thanos is. He proved it.
If Caesar had the gauntlet, are you serious, bro? If
There'd be
Caesar
no more
had
humans.
the gauntlet,
Actually, if Caesar had the gauntlet, he probably
would
would have
save-
just created peace.
yeah, he would have created peace.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
He never hated humans.
Nope. They hated him.
He hated that he loved
Because he was
humans.
different.
Curse you, James Franco.
But yeah, let's jump on into the
I guess.
comic book.
Whatever.
So
I should be playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance right now.
yeah, we should be. We're definitely going to be after this.
Oh, 100.
So we're going to be doing
100.
soon. Moving from a comic podcast to playing a comic game.
Yeet, yeet.
So Jonathan Hickman kicked off his run with House of X.
Yep.
And House of X and Powers of 10 are both longer comics. They're both 40-plus pages, which was fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of felt the length and House of X. Not that it was bad.
Wow. See, I felt the length in Power.
And dude, I was just so
Wow, really?
happy to be reading the second issue. You know what I mean? That I just like when it was over, I was like, oh shit, I'm done.
First one was I don't know. I didn't feel like it really dragged.
I don't mean that in a bad
all.
way.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. But man, oh my God, dude. He legit is changing the landscape of everything as we know it in X-Men. Like 100%. There are so many characters that are not present yet that I don't know when they're coming or even if they are coming in these series.
And
right?
confirmations on Omega levels.
Yeah, I love that. The confirmations of the Omega levels happens in House of X, and it confirms every Omega level we've already known, and it adds 2 more that fans have been for fucking years now saying these 2 have to be Omega level. How are they not? It adds Aurora Monroe, Storm, and Magneto.
Whoop.
As Omega level. And it's like, come on, how are they not Omega level? They have to be.
Like, who else is touching this, that weather?
They have to be.
And that magnetism.
I was so happy.
And then, of course, Franklin Richards.
And thanks for tuning in. We're done. That's the end of the episode.
Reality warping, baby.
That's how you end it. I hate him
I've
so
been here
much.
for billions of years, and I will be here for billions after.
He's trash.
Galactus.
God, that was so annoying.
I
Fucking
loved
history
it.
of Marvel.
I loved it.
Oh, man. When I first read that, I thought it was Reed, and then you pointed out that it was Franklin. I was like, man, now I fucking hate this.
You think Mr. Fantastic out there floating in space with Galactus? Come on, fam.
And I wasn't even like loving it. It was just like, oh, this is cool. But then you're like, it's Franklin. I was like, oh, it's not cool anymore. It was cool, but no,
Oh
he
my
sucks.
God!
He sucks.
Just accept what people shouldn't hate Franklin. So
Dude, he
much.
made Galactus his pet. He's a bitch.
He created Galactus.
We didn't.
He could if he wanted to.
Yeah, sure he could. Yeah, he could create fucking anything. He's Franklin fucking Richards. And we get a little bit of a hint of him in this too that we'll get to, which was like very minor, which really annoyed me. I was like, fucking great. We got to hear about him. He's going to be here at some point.
Oh my God!
So on that page that lists all the Omega level mutants, at the very bottom of it, it says that the prime objective right now of all mutant kind and of Krakoa, their new land that they live in, is the protection and fostering of Omegas. I was like, oh, that's fucking dope. Like their number one priority is don't let anything happen to the Omegas. I was like, okay, that's badass.
Key. They are key.
That's badass. So this starts off with Professor X birthing some mutants from like these pods.
See, and that makes sense for Powers too. That ties into the man-machine, so I think he is.
Yeah. And we don't know who they all are. We know that one of them is Cyclops and one of them is Jean Grey. But we clearly see 3, and I'm not positive who the third one is.
I didn't recognize
They
that.
haven't said. But it's very clear that it's Cyclops and Jean Grey, or Jean Grey, who has gone back to her old attire, her original attire and her original name of Marvel Girl, which I don't like. I've never liked that. It's always weird after she stopped being called Marvel Girl that she was like the only one that didn't have a code name. Her real name is Jean Grey, and everyone just called her Jean.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
It's like, and then she was Phoenix for a while, and they called her Phoenix after she was back from that or whatever. But yeah, Marvel Girl I think is a stupid name, and I hate the outfit, especially just coming off the heels of X-Men Red, which a lot of people apparently hated that, and I thought it was the best look she's ever fucking had. I love the X-Men Red look.
I don't know what she looks like.
She wore like all red with like this blue armor, and people kind of hated it.
Is that the one that you wear in your...
in Future Fight, yeah. I love that shit.
It's not bad. It's
so
not
dope.
great.
It's not as cool as the Phoenix, but I mean, it's cool. And then we get, throughout the issue, Jean Grey at different points not different points, at one point she is bringing mutants to Krakoa. While this is going on, we get these 4, or is it 3?
4, 3,
3 or 4 humans.
Oh, the ambassadors?
Yeah, the ambassadors that are coming to Krakoa.
3. It was supposed to be 4, but one of them didn't show up.
You're right. So we get 3 ambassadors that come to Krakoa, and they're supposed to be getting, like, have a meeting with Professor X, and he's supposed to show them around. When they get
they
there,
were in Jerusalem.
yeah, they're like the Jerusalem branch of Krakoa, because Krakoa has these portals that can teleport them and take them around to all these different areas.
Anywhere. Yeah.
That's so
Anywhere
dope.
that they have their gates up, they can go to.
That's so freaking dope, dude. And these ambassadors show up, and Magneto or Professor X isn't there. They're greeted by 2 of the 3 Cuckoo sisters, who are clones of Emma
so
Frost.
you know them?
Yeah, they're clones of Emma Frost.
Okay. I was wondering why. I was like, why do you look familiar, but I don't know your names.
Yeah, the Cuckoo sisters. So they have, like, they're all telepaths.
Yeah.
So they greet them, and then fucking Magneto shows up to be their tour guide. Of all people, like, the one mutant you probably don't want to show up be your tour guide is Magneto.
Yeah.
And then he tells them straight up, call me ambassador.
He's like, I'm only supposed to be Professor X? He's like, or Xavier? He's like, please, he has other things to deal with right now. You can call me ambassador. I was like, oh,
dude.
Magneto.
Woo!
I love him.
Eric Lensher, I think that's how you say his last name, Lensher or Lesher, Magneto. God, he's so dope. He's
So
often
dope.
one of my favorites.
He's awesome.
I love him.
I've always liked him.
When he's a straight villain, he's my favorite villain in all of comics, but he's never like just a straight villain. There's always something going on other than just villainy with him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's always kind of towing that line.
He's just dope.
I
He's
love
just
him.
so cool. Yeah.
And no, I love that they have those like X-Force inspired look in this with the all white with the gray.
Man, everyone's outfit in this more often than not is money, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Professor X, it's
Dude, he looks dope.
I want to hate it. It looks like
looks
the bubble
sinister.
head, but it's dope. It's
Yeah.
slim. I don't know. It's
I
'cause
love that he's.
I think it's because he cut up.
He's always wearing Cerebro. That's so cool. Just always wearing it.
Yeah. Always full powered.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, because that's what he needs.
Yeah. I just don't like that he's not in a wheelchair. It doesn't like show handy capabilities. You know what I mean? You got to be able to
I thought this is the
pay
X-Men.
respects.
I thought this is the X-Men. We're supposed to like be for everything here.
That's what I'm saying. Like that showed some people like, oh man, they like pay respects to the handicapped people. Like they're handicapped people. They deserve that, dude.
I mean, I know
that's
you're
messed up.
you're being facetious right now, but I can honestly
But
see how
actually,
that's
it's
like true.
No,
Yeah, it's like
true.
it's really cool.
I am joking, but it's like
It's like it's a cool thing for people that are like handicapped.
that
If
they
you're in a
have something to
wheelchair, it's
relate
like Professor X is one of the most powerful mutants.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Fucking
He's in a
leads the whole
wheelchair,
team.
yeah.
He's in a wheelchair. He's awesome. And then,
but then they take it away from us.
they just snatch it from you. And we have one panel which I loved. It's only one panel of Wolverine in this whole issue, and it's when Jean brings the kids and they're
Who's
playing
over
with
there
them.
with the hairy guy?
Yeah, and then he's just playing with kids. That's it. It's like, all
Yeah.
right, cool. So we're not focused on Wolverine. Thank God. We don't need that again. We get it every time. Let's focus on everybody, not just one person. Like, what are we, the Fox universe? Come on.
I mean, when you have Hugh Jackman running.
I mean, true. When you have the perfect person
I was about to
ever
say when
play
someone
Wolverine.
just straight nailed that performance.
When Wolverine is actually born in the physical form and you can watch him, you kind of got to focus on
100%.
it. I mean, he did great too, but still.
He's okay.
Decent at best.
See, I agree with you there.
At best.
I think his worst performance was probably Logan.
Easily. And worst movie too of the
Yeah,
whole Fox universe.
Yeah, I think his best performance was Origins.
The best movie is Last Stand, though.
Yes.
Yeah,
Best movie,
for
Last
sure.
Stand. Best performance, Origins.
For sure.
Worst performance, Logan.
Worst movie, Logan.
And worst movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And if you're still listening, we're joking. Yes, if you're still
we're
listening.
joking. That was all reversed.
Or if you're that one person that agrees with everything we said, fuck
Stop
you.
listening right now.
Yeah,
fuck you.
fuck
You're not
you.
our audience.
Fuck you.
We don't even want your one view.
Yeah,
Get out.
you can dislike stuff, but you're just a fool.
It's not an opinion. It's a fact.
It's a fact.
So throughout this whole issue, there are these pages. There are these white panel pages that have like exposition, and this is
Yeah, they had
describing
words on them,
things.
so I skipped it.
It's like, oh, no
I'm only in
pictures.
for the pictures.
Next one.
I'm only in for the pictures.
And they explain sort of what's going on. Like they give you a clue into what's going on. Professor X has created Krakoa, which is the land the mutants live in now. It's like a nation. And they show you where it is. It's like off the coast of Australia in the Pacific. And it's like this entire island now that they have.
And the island breaks off into points too. House of M, House
Yep.
of X, a couple other different named
It's
areas.
really cool. It's like a whole bunch of areas, but Magneto has his own area, which is, of course, called House of M. Xavier has his
course.
area, which is, of course, called House of X.
I need that series.
Yeah. House of M. Oh, man.
Bro, if this was 3 series going on at once, I'd be...
Magneto's so dope. But they these pages tell you about this flower that is produced in Krakoa. And to mutants, it does like very little. It doesn't do a whole lot, but for humans, it has like 3 different properties that it can do. One is it can extend their life by 5 years. And I don't remember the other 2.
When did they mention that? Was that in one of the pages?
Yeah, it's on one of the white panel pages.
That's...
They've like broken it down and created pills out of it. And one, it like extends their life
that's
for
why
5
the
years.
pharmaceutical people want the
Yeah.
medicine and stuff like that. Okay, because the first opening of this book was like, it was starting out, I think, 2 years ago, and then it kept going down like a year, month,
Yeah,
month,
you're right,
month,
that's
month,
right,
and
yeah.
it was all these different mutants grabbing this
Grabbing
flower.
the flower.
Yeah.
They were like,
And then led us to
Collecting
Jerusalem where
them.
they were trying to meet have the, talk to Professor X, try to get help with like what's going on with this, like this new country coming out of nowhere. And
a new
filled with
sovereign
mutants.
nation. What are you talking about? You don't have your own place. But and they have this
Kill them
because
all,
Genosha, which was the old like mutant sovereign ground, has been destroyed. So in the wake of that, they have formed. Well, Professor X pretty much has formed Krakoa.
Is Genosha the one that Magneto made?
Yeah, it's like the place he formed. Well, not formed, but he founded. Like it was already an area.
That's the one they actually did in Dark Phoenix, right?
Yeah. Yep. But they these flowers get broken down into and made into pills, and one of the effects is one of the pills can extend a human's life by 5 years. Another one will rid them of any illness. Is what it was.
I thought you said you forgot the other 2.
No, I remember that one, and I don't remember what the third one was, unfortunately. But the pharmaceutical industry wants these pills, obviously, and this is the bargaining tool that Professor X is using to get the United Nations and all these countries to agree to accept Krakoa into the United Nations and like
in exchange for
officially make them a country in exchange for this medicine. And it's like, oh, that's smart. Kind of devious. Like, doesn't seem Professor X like.
Yeah.
Very intelligent, though.
Yes.
Smart move.
Very smart
Smart move.
because this is not a negotiation. I'm just saying it's
as
not.
Magneto
As
says.
Magneto
As he
says, it is not a
point blank
negotiation,
breaks out.
gentlemen.
Woo! And then we also get a little look to see what Mystique, Sabretooth, and Toad are doing.
Yep.
And they're trying to steal some kind of data, some information.
Yep. I don't think they revealed it.
No, they don't reveal what it is. They're trying to steal some kind of data. And they did the smart thing of taking Sabretooth with them on a covert mission.
Oh, of course.
That's just the best person.
He's very level-headed.
Very level-headed.
Very cool. Does very well under pressure.
Yeah.
Somebody that you can count on in a pinch.
Just very well under pressure.
Just, man.
Perfect description of Sabretooth.
Yep.
Victor Creed is Captain Calm. That's what he is.
Okay.
So, of course, this kind of breaks down. It doesn't go right, and they get found out. So, Sabretooth kills a bunch of fucking people.
And blames them for being squishy.
Yeah, but it's their fault.
Yeah, it's their fault. They're weak.
And I love that Mystique is back to like the more traditional classic look. I love the look with the white stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
God, I love Mystique.
Raven
She's
is
so
fire.
cool. Raven Darkholm. And I love the new design they have for Toad, too. I like that a lot.
It's not as displeasing.
Yeah, it's not
It's
as
easier on the
displeasing,
eyes.
and it's not as amphibious either.
Yep.
He looks more humanoid.
Yep.
Like, I like that. He looks like a Cro-Magnon man as green, essentially.
Yep.
I liked it. And he's super intelligent, as he always is. But as they're trying to escape, the fucking Fantastic Four show up. I'm like, where are y'all going?
What do you think you're doing here?
Yeah, what do you think y'all are going?
Johnny and Ben
Mhm.
roll up on him.
And so they section off Sabretooth. Mystique and Toad end up getting away.
Yeah.
But they capture Sabretooth. And then a portal opens, and fucking Cyclops comes out of it. And he's like, hey.
Nice little reunion between them.
Yeah, they have a little reunion.
Sue and
between
Reed,
Sue and Reed
yeah.
and
Ben and Johnny.
Cyclops is his name. Scott Summers. I forgot the name of the one I like the least. But they had actually liked him in this little scene with them.
Oh yeah.
I like how he came off. I was
like
like,
how he
oh, it's
looks in
not
this, too.
typical shitty Cyclops. Cool. Yeah, I love his design. That's really cool looking. But he shows up and he's like trying to call amnesty on them, or trying to institute amnesty to get Sabretooth. I'm like, are you fucking serious? For this guy? Like, you really want him back?
Yeah,
And he's like, he's a mutant. He's family. He's one of us. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, it's definitely a different guard. It's a changing of the guard, because now all mutant kind of is like, we're all family. We all matter. And they're like, but he's...
All mutants matter.
He's like, he's fucking Sabretooth. And they're all, and then he's like, did you really think that we were going to be beaten and pushed down and told we were less than for all of our time, for all of our lives, and then never do anything about it? Never fight back? And they're like, no. And he's like, you have no idea what that's like. I'm like, well, yeah, we know. And he's like, it's fine. We'll work it out. You can take him, but we'll work it out and we'll get him back. And they're like,
And of course Sabretooth's like, what the fuck,
yeah,
Summers?
Sabretooth's like, the fuck, you still leave me with him? He's like, nothing I can do about it. Sorry, big guy. And then he turns around to leave, and he's like, by the way, say hi to your son for me. And tell Franklin he's got a family waiting for him when he's ready. And he like, walks off, and then we get like a panel of Reed and Sue's hands are like clenched in fists as Cyclops is walking away. And I was like, oh, that was a baller line. That was a baller way to end that little
Did you get that boy
conversation.
involved? This is broken.
Yeah, and he's an Omega level. So
Yeah, reality manipulator.
he's the only one on the list. Does they have all their associations? There were 2 that were an unknown association. They just don't know what they are. And 1 that was human, and it was Franklin. Everybody else was Krakoa. They were all mutant associated. There's only 3 Omegas they don't have with them right now. And they know where Franklin is. So they obviously want him.
Of
sucks.
course. He's
So it's going to be a
utterly
pivotal
broken,
point
dude.
in this series. He's a piece of shit. It's
Oh my
gonna
God!
be,
Stop hating on
probably
him.
going to be what is the resolution for whatever horrible thing is going to happen. Franklin's going to change it.
That's fine.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is, dude.
He's a piece of shit.
That's essentially like what Adam Warlock did in Infinity Wars, dude. Come on.
I mean, yeah, basically. But Adam Warlock's interesting.
No.
Franklin's trash. This is
Lives in a soul world. He's not interesting. He's boring. Franklin is a god.
You're really trying to make me mad. And then we also get a look into what the humans are doing right now. And they are off in space at some place called
Orcus.
Orcus.
The Orcus Protocol.
The Orcus
Trying
Protocol.
to access the Forge.
And yeah, and they're accessing the Forge. And they have like this bit of exposition explaining that this is going to be like the last hope for humanity. They have put this in motion years and years ago when they thought that it was possible that Homo superior, which was what the mutants are, could rise up and become the predominant and dominant species on Earth. So they put like a failsafe in there to like help them out. And essentially they're like starting a new way for the humans to live, a new place for them to be is what it seems like.
Yep.
And in the Orcus is the Forge. And at the heart of the Forge is the fucking head of Master Mold, the creator of all the Sentinels. And it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
This
why
is not going to be good for the mutants.
Why not?
And they also refer to Master Mold as a her, and I could have sworn that Master Mold was always referred to as a he, even though it's like it's a machine, so it doesn't have a gender classification.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've heard that called a she. Like they said her, and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
2019, dude.
It's like a
Get with
little
the program.
bit of thing, yeah. That's cool. And they have an android that's like helping the humans out too. That I don't know who the character is.
Nope.
Never seen this character before, but it's a female-looking android. And she's like, I don't know. She's a liaison.
Yeah.
But I don't really know what she does.
No, they didn't really specify too many details. I mean, they obviously had to get certain things done in their tech. They kept mentioning, like, make sure we get this up and running, make sure we can get this, this, and this, get it back to the people on Earth. But they didn't say what their main mission was.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
That's like, it leads me to believe they were trying to create like a new place for humans while also having a contingency plan to wipe out the mutants.
Well, they said
with
this was
Master
going
Mold.
to give them the edge in something. They wanted an
Yeah.
advantage. Like, I'm sorry, you don't have an advantage when you're fighting mutants. I don't think that humans realize how fucking...
Well, the only way to advantage is the Sentinels.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
from
true.
Master
That's
Mold.
true.
It's the only way. And they also say, describe or explain how Orcus came to be. And Orcus came to be, the Orcus Protocol, from all these groups banding together, like SHIELD, AIM, Hydra, all these different groups banded together to create this. And there's a certain percentage of each group's like top-level people that are in the Orcus Protocol. And I was like, man, that's fucking cool. So it's literally like every human group has banded together. It's like, it really is humans versus mutants. It's like, oh, fuck, man.
All out war is about to happen.
Yeah, definitely about to happen.
And the humans about to get waxed.
And then after we get all of that, they also have something that I'm not remembering completely that explains there were these 3 points of when they knew Orcus Protocol need to go in effect. And they all reached those points and Orcus Protocol went into effect. And that's why they're there now at the Forge. And then it goes back to Magneto giving the walk around, giving the tour. And then he gets to deliver his hard-ass lines. But first, he has one of the Cuckoo sisters like read all of their minds and tell him why they're really there. And pretty much all of them are plants, except for one of them who already is game. Like,
Yeah,
he's just
pharmaceutical
down.
guy.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
down. We're doing it. We're in. No matter what you say,
100%
we're
done.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another one was a plant, not even like
They did already came in here knowing they weren't going to do it, but now knowing that everybody else is going to do it, doesn't want to do it now.
Yeah. And it's like, oh,
And then
well,
someone else that's
shit.
resisting, doing a really good job.
Yeah. Of like blocking
he has a
her.
gun. Do you want me to do anything? And of course, like Magneto's
He's like, nope, I got
"No."
this.
He's like, I hate it when wolves try to hide the sheep, but I know you all. You're all wolves.
That's such a hard line, dude.
My God, Magneto is so gangster.
It's, I guess, good to see Magneto's just utter hatred of humanity is still intact.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
guy
but at
just
least
doesn't like him.
he's on the good side, I think.
I mean, we
it's hard
hope.
to tell. Yeah, I mean,
we hope this is. I don't know. We don't know what's going on
don't know,
yet.
dude.
We hope. But then, yeah, he gets to deliver that baller line, and then he gets to tell them all that,
God, man, you love your symbolism almost as much as you love your religion.
and you have new gods now.
And just
I
over
was
his
like,
shoulder.
oh my,
look.
you get this over his shoulder.
Sunset in the background. I mean, the scene couldn't have been
No,
better.
couldn't have been. He
my
planned the
God.
fuck out of that.
Fuck, I love Magneto.
Magneto's so
It's
fucking
so
baller.
awesome. It's so awesome.
So he tells him that
The all
shit.
white looks great on him too. I
Oh, it's
prefer that to
amazing.
the purple and red.
Oh, I do
Or
too.
magenta.
The magenta and red,
I don't
or
like
magenta and purple.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I,
don't
like that look,
like
but
it.
this is way better.
Yeah, I
Way
like
better.
it because that's just
classic
what I've
Magneto.
known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
But
way
I
better.
definitely like the all white dude.
No,
It's so
yeah.
fresh, blonde hair, man. He's always blonde.
It
but-
gives more duality to him, right? Because to Magneto, everything is black and white.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a good way to look.
I've
at
always
it.
liked that. Yeah. Everything's magenta and purple to Magneto. Everything. So,
Purple.
and then
Magenta, Magneto. I mean, everything's
Oh my
making
God!
sense. Andy Serkis directing Venom 2.
that has to be why they chose that color.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh, Andy Serkis. Oh my God, that'd be amazing. So then that's pretty much. Excuse me. That's pretty much where this issue comes to a close, right? Is Magneto's close? That's like one
That
of the
was
closing
the
moments.
last line.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought that was the
the
closing
last
moment.
line.
Yeah. And then there's some other. I want to say those are like some other explanations of. In this, like in the panel or the white pages of like what's going on through this, but they don't honestly throughout this whole issue give you enough to really know what's happening, what's going to move forward.
No, and they mentioned like
what is going to happen moving forward.
one of the humans that was there trying to read one of the walls. Like, what is that? And then you hear a voice in the background, and it's like that's just gibberish, and it's Magneto, and he's like, when they get here, when all mutants get here, we print this language into their mind, and they automatically know how to speak it. And they're like, what? You created your own language? Well, of course. I can't create a culture without a language. It's where
Yep.
it all starts.
I was like, oh my God, that's
Yeah, so they
dope.
made their own language that any mutant will know. And you can't even enter the portals if you're not a mutant.
about to
And if
mention
you're
that.
accompanied by one, you still need permission
Yep.
to bring them in.
Ask for
so a human
permission.
can't even walk into
Nope,
those things.
can't even get
and
in
of
there.
course, as humans should be worried, and I get it, to the degree of you have where humans see a easy way to transport an army without
Exactly.
within
Mhm.
seconds.
And that's the
Just-
big, like,
and that's the big, and that's an
pause.
advantage. He's like,
Yeah.
and Magneto's like, well, where you see that, I see refuge.
Mm-hmm.
I see a safe haven from humans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude. Magneto's so dope. I'm going to say that about 50 times.
It's
But yeah, so now the mutants have their own land, trying to make it a country. They have their own fucking language. And Magneto also mentions that they're all telepathically linked now, too.
yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So they can always communicate with each other. And they communicate in their own language.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fresh.
Dude.
And they show a moment earlier where Forge, the character, and I can't remember the other character that's with him, they show when Marvel Girl is bringing people back.
God, I forgot. They actually have a character named Forge, and then they talk
Yeah.
about the Forge.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Forge is like a technopath.
Yep.
And he's like, he's near Omega level, but he's not. They actually explain, when they explain the Omega level stuff, why Magneto's Omega level and someone like Forge isn't. And it's because an Omega level is
You have to be
someone
top of
that
you
in
or
a
whatever
certain
you're
power
doing,
class, nothing can be exponentially more powerful than you. And Forge, while he is like extremely powerful, there have already been instances of even just humans that are more powerful technopaths than he is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he would not be. Whereas Magneto, there is no one more powerful in the like manipulation of magnetism than him. It's impossible.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
Same thing with Storm with weather manipulation.
And same
There's
thing
nothing.
with fucking Jean Grey.
And Bobby with fucking
with ice
absolute
manipulation.
zero.
Yeah, dude. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's what
dude.
they called it.
Whew, absolute
No
zero.
one gets colder than what Bobby
No,
does in
it's
Mutant.
impossible
No.
because he reaches the absolute peak of just absolute
Yeah,
zero.
It's
That's
unreal.
insane,
Unreal.
dude.
Unreal.
And then Jean Grey with telepath, being a telepath.
Mm-hmm.
She's an Omega level telepath. And in order to be considered the Omega level telepath, because there's only one,
See, what did they classify
nothing can
X then?
surpass her. He's not Omega level. Never has been.
How?
Yeah.
He's
Because he's
created
not
a
the most
world.
powerful telepath. Jean Grey is.
Huh.
Jean Grey is the most powerful telepath in all of Marvel.
But I thought he was classified as something else, though.
He's just the
He's
leader.
not. How's that
He's just
doesn't make
super
any sense.
intelligent.
Yeah, but he's like his reality
With
warping. I mean,
I'm almost positive with Cerebro, it makes him on that level.
Okay.
Because it links him with all mutants. He can see them all at all times and speak to them.
that's true.
But Jean doesn't need that shit.
No,
She just is.
I don't think she's not there right now, though. In this series, it makes me think that she's not.
They haven't really delved into it, but they're already classifying her as Omega level.
Yeah, I mean that was in the panel.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I love when she first shows up with the kids. Her and Professor X have that little mind speak. It's like, good to see you again, Marvel Girl. She's
And you
like,
are safe
Thank
here."
you. Yeah, and you are safe here. And she's like, I know. I was like, oh, shit. And then they have, they mentioned that no one can even come in without fucking permission. Humans can't come in, period, unless they have permission. Yeah. And if you're a mutant, you need permission still. So they show Forge and someone else down there, and like, Krakoa itself, it seems, is speaking, and it's saying, like, 7 beings coming through, and it lists the names of all the people coming in. And she's like, does that sound right to you, Forge? She goes, yep, that checks out. And there's like this part of Krakoa that's like all these weird looking eyes. And Forge, you find out in this one little panel, he is the one that's like shaped everything and created this like algorithm in this program for it all to run. He's the one that's like helping institute all of it.
Okay.
I was like, oh,
okay.
so yeah, because he's a technopath.
That's cool.
So technology is his deal. I was
Okay.
like, oh, okay. Got a little bit of Forge sprinkled in there for a second, even though doesn't really matter. He's in that like one little
Not
part.
really, yeah.
It's just the way for them to like give some exposition and explain this is how it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really, really enjoyed the first issue of House of X. I thought it was really fucking good, man.
Yep.
I love all the designs, especially Magneto. And Magneto and Mystique were my two favorite designs.
Mm-hmm.
I love Professor X. He looks cool. Fucking hate Marvel Girl. Like, I'm a
I'm
massive
actually
Jean
not that
Grey
against it.
fan.
I like the green and yellow.
But I don't. As compared to her previous designs, this is my least favorite she's ever had.
No.
I don't like it. I love Cyclops' design. I don't like Cyclops, but his design looks cool.
Yeah.
Like the artwork for this was really fucking cool, and I love the way that it's being written.
Sabretooth looked very traditional.
Yeah, very traditional. I like his traditional look. I really like it. I love the way this is being written too. Like how they have the panels, like they have a normal comic, and they have like the things in between that are explaining all this stuff. Like, man, I really like how Jonathan Hickman's writing the series.
Yeah, seriously, check this out.
Dude, it's so fucking good, dude. So good. And I love that it ties into something else that you like. Essentially, you need their companion.
And they have these. They pinpointed on we're getting 6 issues each, and they pinpointed 3 important. If for some reason you don't get around to reading these, you read 3 Powers of 3, correct?
No, it's House 2, Powers.
Oh, House 2,
5 or no, House 2. Then I think Powers 3, and then House 5. I think is what it is.
I thought one was the end one, last one.
Oh,
House 6
then
then.
it's House 6. That's
Okay.
what it was. Yeah, it's 2 House and 1 Powers, but one of them is House 2, which is the next thing coming out. Actually, by the time this, by the time this comes out, it has just come out. Yeah, it'll come out on Wednesday. So, yeah, those are the 3 issues that apparently, like, the biggest moments happened. Like, you need to know these issues to follow the 6 series that are going to come after this.
Mm-hmm.
So, those are going to be really important. And then we get to Powers of 10.
And it's supposed to follow it immediately, but it kind of doesn't. I mean, it does in one aspect where
One little
Mystique
part
reveals,
does.
like,
Yeah.
they give the data. We still don't find out what it is,
Nope.
but we get the reveal of her bringing that to
Magneto.
Mm-hmm. And of course she wants compensation.
It's Mystique, so of course she's like,
She's
I need more than what you're going to give me.
What, a safe haven and a place to live? Like,
She's like, no, not really.
what do you want?
Yeah, what do you want? And then, of course, she gets interrupted from behind, and it's Professor X.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just, give it to me.
Zeep, zeep, zeep.
Yeah, puts his fingers to his head and summons it to him.
That's what he does.
That's his power. Just boop.
Professor X move. You know when the fingers go to the forehead of the temple, it's done.
That's why Cyclops is team leader, and he's his favorite because they both do the same thing.
They both do the same thing. Exactly.
That's exactly
He's
what
like, I see myself in you.
We're so alike. We do the
We're
fingers.
so alike.
But then she relays his line back on him, and she's like, well, I got this for you. Isn't that enough? And he was like, safety is never enough or something like that. Like she relays it back to him, and he's like, bitch, I'm fucking Professor X.
Do you not know who I is?
But when this series, this issue opens with the panels of going through time, right?
This one was, the very first one was Professor Xavier's face.
Yeah.
And then a face that we don't know, looking a little more futuristic army. And then the third one is what we now know as Nimrod. And then the fourth one was called Ascension.
Because
It was year 1 mutants, year 10 mutants, year 100,
and year 1000.
and then 1000.
Yep.
And then year 1000's Ascension, it's a blue dude.
Yeah, no idea who that is.
Yeah, no idea. And then it gives us a early peek of year 1 mutant, year 1 X-Men. And it was a Professor Xavier at a little festival walking around and stuff like that. And he's like really having a good time. I actually hate how it was drawn in this. I hated
really?
Professor.
It looked old-timey.
Professor X looked fucking stupid.
Really?
Did you see his
I
little
didn't mind
warped face? God, it just looked awful. And they have him sitting there, and he's really enjoying himself. It's a place that you would think that Professor Xavier wouldn't be having that much fun. And a woman comes down and starts having a little bit of a conversation with him.
I believe was supposed to be Moira McTaggart, who is the love interest in later on in Professor X's life. That's his love interest. Until she dies,
have
and then
powers?
he gets with the Shi'ar Empress.
Does she have powers?
No, she's human.
And I'm confused
She's a
on that whole
doctor.
thing then.
Why?
Because she's like, you know who I've known. She knew who he was, and then said, "Read my mind." You know why?
She said, "Read my mind."
Yeah.
For him to read her mind. He can read her mind. She can't read his mind.
No, I know. She said, "Read." That's what I'm saying. How would she know him if she's from the future?
Yeah, I'm confused of what
If she doesn't have powers.
of what's going on because they've always had history together. So I don't know what that scene's supposed to mean. But I think it's supposed to be more.
Because he didn't know who she was until he read her mind.
I thought it was supposed to be Jean at first. I was like, looks nothing like fucking Jean though. And I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Moira McTaggart.
What if it's Mystique?
But, yeah, easily could have been. Yeah, easily could have been. But then he's like, read my mind. And he's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then we just go to the next thing, and we never come
And then
back
we
to
don't
that.
come back
Yeah.
to that.
So I don't know what the fuck is going on there.
Powers of 2.
Powers of 2. Yeah, right? And it's going to have to be. And then after that's when we get into Mystique coming back with the data. And then it moves on from that into what is going to be pretty much just the rest of the issue, right? Was all
majority of
all future stuff. It was 100. It goes to year 100 for a while, and then year 1000.
When year 1000 was the closeout.
Yeah. So then after this, we go to year 100, where we see some brand new characters that we've never seen before. One of them is named.
That one's called War.
Who?
Year 100 was War.
Year 100 War. Yeah. Okay. One of them is called. The New Mutants is called Rasputin, and the other one that's with her was called Cardinal. That's just what they called it. So Rasputin is quite clearly from design, obviously a part of the Rasputin family, which Colossus and Magic, his sister, are a part of.
I mean, just from her top and how her skin looked and the eyes. She had the white eyes. She had what looked like metallic skin.
Yeah, and she had very clearly a metallic arm, and she had the big limbo sword that fucking Magic carries around.
I think she was whole metallic. Like her whole thing was just
was
Colossus.
she? Okay, yeah. And then also Cardinal looked clearly like a descendant of Azazel and Nightcrawler.
Yeah,
clearly.
I mean, his little gloves and his. They didn't show his hands, but that would have been a dead giveaway.
Yeah, for sure.
3 toes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then there's 2 other mutants with them whose names I don't remember.
Kiowa was one, right? Or was it Quake or Quero? What was it?
Oh, Choir or something.
And
who is obviously a descendant of Kid Omega, just from the name.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't remember what the other one was, but one of them gets captured. Choir gets killed.
When we didn't realize until we looked at it earlier, the one that got captured looked exactly like the android
from
on
House. Yeah,
that was back then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, no, but it's not because
not?
they'd explain. No, it's the person that was with Nimrod.
Yes.
Looks like that android, right?
No.
Was it the captured one? Well, they explained.
I thought it was the one
They
that got
explained how
captured.
that captured person came to be existing.
And that
anyways.
was her. That's why it was convinced.
It was one of those
Yeah.
the black brain telepaths or what have they called them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were created by Nimrod to infiltrate the mutants. But the problem was a bunch of them ended up sympathizing with the mutants because they were mutants themselves,
Yeah.
and they turned on the human
Man machine.
the man machine
That's what they call it, yeah.
coalition. They turned on them, and that was one of them. So then Nimrod's gonna break her back down, dude. Nimrod, first off, was beast mode in this shit, dude.
Yeah.
I love his demeanor.
And he's like, nice.
He's so apologetic, but so sinister.
Yeah.
It honestly reminded me of like Thanos from
Really?
like the MCU.
I
Yeah,
get that.
it's just he felt what he was doing was worthy and noble, and he had to go do it. But he felt bad. And I was like, "Fuck, man." Nimrod's never been as badass as it was in this. It was so dope.
That was cool.
And it was just of all characters, Nimrod. I've always hated the name, love the design, love the character, but his name is
That first
fucking,
panel still made me think that like Professor X is Nimrod.
His name is Nimrod, which means dumb.
Yeah, well, it's called. Yeah, what was his fucking moniker? It was Nimrod the Lesser.
Yeah, Nimrod the Lesser. Yeah.
Like what?
'Cause I'm pretty sure Nimrod was created by. I could be wrong here. I'm pretty sure Nimrod was created by Master Mold, and it was like a failed attempt at a Sentinel. So he's like not as good as a Sentinel, but Nimrod ends
He's
up being very powerful.
100 years later, motherfucking running shit,
Yeah, he's still around running stuff, running the show.
and humans
So-
have like come to pay fealty by they're
Yeah.
the ones that captured him.
Exactly,
Like, what
yeah.
is they think Nimrod's gonna be the savior?
The humans are like the specific ones were called hunters. They like
Hunters,
hunt mutants
and
down.
then they're hounds, the ones that they
Yeah,
captured.
the ones that kept were hounds. Yeah. So Rasputin and Cardinal are trying to rescue someone who has been. Well, they broke into this area to steal some stuff, and we don't know what it was or why.
Mm-hmm.
And as they're leaving, they get ambushed by the human and the machines,
Mm-hmm.
and like they track them down, and they end up killing, I believe, the choir descendant,
Mm-hmm.
and then they capture another one, and Rasputin like has to just leave them. She's not wanting to. She many times is like no, refusing.
Yeah,
like
I'm not
I
being a
will-
coward like you,
Yeah,
Cardinal.
I'm not a coward like you. And then she straight up tells the one that tells her leave, like, I will die trying to save
That's what
you.
I'm saying.
like,
Machines don't
fuck.
have souls, and humans lost theirs a long time ago.
Yeah, dude, that was a hard line too. Rasputin's dope as fuck, dude. And like, dude, they're blasting her with all this shit, and it's just bouncing off. She's
She's
just
like,
running
this is
through
what I
them.
was made for.
Yeah.
Acknowledging what something to maybe Professor X was doing with his Krakoa, and
Possibly.
also something that Nimrod mentioned where they said they use these AI. They're not real. None of these people are real. Those mutants right there, they're not. They were man-made.
Yo, yeah, yeah, they were
man-made. That's what I'm saying. They were
created. Yeah,
created.
they
so
weren't
they're-
birthed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also explain.
It's crazy.
So yeah, this whole thing happens. She's trying to save her, and she can't. So then, the one mutant gets taken, and then Cardinal and Rasputin have to flee. Like they open a portal to Krakoa, and they flee and go away. And then we discover this issue also has these pages in between the artwork that tells you exposition of what's going on. And we learned that Mr. fucking Sinister, of all people, was, for some reason, entrusted. He, like, is a mutant, so he wanted to help the mutants out, and he was entrusted by Professor X and everybody else to, like, help them. And they went to Mars, and he created this, like, breeding ground to breed more mutants so they could help them fight the war against the human-machine coalition. And his first batch had, like, a 2% failure rate, and it was not a big failure rate. And they were pretty much mindless warriors. And they served their purpose. And he did 4 different batches of creating these mutants, and each time they had more and more X genes in them. So the first ones only had 1 X gene and 1 power set. The second ones had 2, more than 1 power set. And then they had more and more and more. And the more X genes he added, the more the failure rate kept going up. And these outlier failure rates were like not beneficial. They couldn't help them. And then they did the third ones, all of their failures ended up being these passive-aggressive beings that didn't want war, and they called all of them cardinals. So that's where Cardinal is from.
Oh.
He was one of those. That's why Rasputin says to him,
I'm not a coward.
I'm
like
not a coward like you
Oh.
are, and he was born to be a coward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was,
He wasn't born to
he
be
was
a
a
coward.
defect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
was
was
a
a fail rate. And then the fourth one were all fucking Omega levels. They were all taken and spliced with Omega level genes. And Rasputin is one of those. And they had a 60% failure rate, and their failure rate was that they were fucking traitors. And they turned on the mutants and helped the humans win the war, and that's when Mr. Sinister defected from the mutant side, tried to go to the human side, and it says they publicly executed him.
Is that what it said? Oh my
He
god.
turned on the humans, he turned on the mutants, and then the humans publicly executed him because he's a mutant. So his ultimate deception didn't even fucking work for him because he
Nope.
got killed.
He got killed. Wow.
Fuck you, Sinister.
I didn't read that part.
Yeah, I was like, holy fucking shit,
awesome.
dude. So Rasputin is part of the 4th, so she's an Omega level, and I don't believe she was a failure.
But she hates. Yeah, I was about to
because
say
she's not against the mutants. She's helping them.
She's helping them.
Yeah. So she wasn't a failure. And then Nimrod references those failures too, because Nimrod obviously knew what Mr. Sinister was doing. So obviously he knows somehow what Mr. Sinister was doing.
Yep.
And so, that's how he knows that. So Rasputin is supposed to be one of the good ones, we think, at this moment.
At this moment, that's all we can take.
She seems like she is not one of the failure rates. She's one of the lucky 40%, I guess. But then they explain the population of mutants that are left. And there's still some mutants.
I mean, on that one place, there were 8.
Yeah, there's still some mutants left, but there are less than a collective 10,000 in the galaxy. And almost all of them, like 99% of them, live in Shi'ar space now. 2,000 of them live, or 8,000 of them, right? Yeah, live. It's like right below 8,000 live on the outskirts of Shi'ar space. That's like and they are now become the bridge gap between the outer realm of space and the Shi'ar Empire's own space they own, like in actual outer space. And then a little less than 2,000 live inside the Shi'ar Empire, and they're pretty much just soldiers for the Queen.
Okay.
And she hopes that they will be the ones that will help her turn the tide. And then fucking 8 of them live in this asteroid called Asteroid K. And when we see them, we clearly see Magneto and Wolverine and some Groot-looking tree creature are 3 of the 8.
Yep.
We don't know who the other ones are. Well, we know those 3, then Rasputin and Cardinal, that's 5. Oh, and then they said that one of them died and one of them got captured.
Did they go in? That was them that went into the portal? Rasputin?
Yeah, Rasputin and then went in the portal. So there's one we don't know yet. Oh, we do know who it is. We don't know who it is.
We don't know her name, though. Talking about that one that got captured?
No, yeah. So it's Wolverine, Magneto, the Groot-looking creature, Rasputin, Cardinal, then the one that died, the one that got captured, and there's one more. They lead you to believe it's Professor X. Because Magneto, like when Rasputin and them show up, Magneto's like, he will see you or blah, 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 something like that. But we don't know who the person is.
That's true.
It's just, I assume it's Professor X.
It's Franklin.
It could be Franklin, too. But we don't know who the 8th one is on this asteroid. And after that, we go to year 1000 with the blue ascended being and this little robot flying around it that this being called Nimrod.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is happening in year 1000?
No. Yeah, the Nimrod is the machine.
Yeah, the little machine that's flying around with the blue person.
Yeah.
That I don't know who that is.
Once again,
is
if we're just
Professor
going off
X?
the, I was
I
gonna say, if
don't
we're
know.
going off the first thing, he was wearing
Cerebro, right? Yeah.
He was wearing that and took it off and like started talking and mentioning like, well, what are we gonna do? What do we need to do to fix this kind of stuff like that? And of course, I mean, what do you do?
What are we gonna do, right? Yeah.
That's 1,000 years.
It's 1,000 years. And like,
1,000 years.
Seems like all the mutants are dead now.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes outside. I believe it's a he, right? The blue person's supposed to be a he?
Yes.
Yeah. He goes outside and it's like they're on Earth.
It could have been androgynous, but I don't know.
It could have been, yeah. There's all this lush vegetation, but it's like grown over cities and stuff. And then we see a very Adam and Eve looking scene of a naked man and a naked woman like emerging from
But he says we
trees.
can't let them rise again.
Yeah, we can't let them rise
humans.
again.
So I
So
think
it seems like
humans
are all dead.
Yeah, I think
and they're restarting the population of humanity with 2 people.
Yeah.
But where are all the mutants? Are they dead too? What happened? Like, we don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't
know.
I've got to need this next
What
issue.
the fuck is happening right now, dude? I definitely need more
I didn't
of
even
this.
think about the whole Adam and Eve.
That's what it looked like for me.
Start
Yeah.
man and woman.
Mm-hmm.
But then when their kids have kids, then you have incest kids. You know that stuff doesn't work.
I don't know what's
Need
going
more
on.
than 2.
I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it looked, I don't know. So I don't know what's happening in year 1000. We get very little information about year 1000.
Yeah, it was the end. I'm assuming the next one's probably going to be.
Hopefully. I'm going to go more into it, yeah.
I feel like House, so far, if I were to take off my first impressions, House is probably going to be the more driven, current story.
Oh, absolutely
being told.
it is, yeah.
Powers is going to take place of those, maybe continue with those 3 things, the big moments, and then House will give us those little details and what the big stuff is, like why this person's here, why this person's there, and then Powers is like, and this is what happened.
Yeah. So we already kind of like know the ending, I guess.
Yeah.
We go all the way to year 1000, and there's no more humans left.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like there's any other mutants. And even the blue being, the Ascension, at one point said something to Nimrod along the lines of like, we saw this, or we knew this would happen, something like that. So this also leads me to believe that like this is the reason Franklin Richards is going to exist in this series, is to prevent year 1000 and year 100.
Okay.
It's to alter reality to make it not happen. Okay. That's what I'm assuming. Is that they're going to see this is their future and it's going to be changed.
Okay.
That's what I'm assuming. I hope not, but
I hope so.
I hope not.
Because I
want to see the
mad.
Mr. Sinister years play out. I need Mr. Sinister. I love that dude. He's so evil. He's
Well,
so
you can
dope.
still get him.
I know.
I mean, you got year. We didn't even see year 10.
No, we didn't see any. Yeah, we saw like
No. They
a panel of year 10 or something. It was very minimal.
I think the war was year 10, and then it goes to year 100. No,
the war was year 100 with Nimrod.
Mm-hmm.
Year 0 or year 1. Year 1 was Professor X at the carnival, and I think year 10 is House of X It goes year 10, and that's when Mystique is coming back.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep. Year 10 is where we were at.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
where House of X
Okay.
is currently.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
year 100 is the war, and year 1000
You're
is
right.
the
You're right.
Ascension.
Year 10 is current.
Yeah.
Current year. Okay.
Which it seems like House of X is only going to cover year 10.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
If that's the case, that's cool. That seems to be the big jump,
Mhm.
the big thing that
Yeah, the big
that
stuff that
sets
happens.
everything going.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like that's what that's going to cover, and then Powers is going to cover like everything else, which is fucking cool. Just whenever you're ready. Waiting on you, big guy.
I'm letting you talk. I was
Paul was phone out here texting people like he doesn't even care about the show anymore.
Man, dude, let's do this.
It's like Steven left and Josh was like, I don't care either.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
But overall,
No one's had the strength, nay, the nobility.
the nobility. Overall, I'm really digging this. Obviously, unless it was
he's an X-Men
absolutely
nerd.
terrible. I was going to X-Men's my favorite thing in comics.
Yeah, stupid.
I hate that
Mutants,
like
ew.
Rogue and Gambit aren't around, but
I'm glad. I hope they
fucking-
get killed.
I hate-
Year 10.
I hate
Year
you so
10. Markham. I'm
we-
glad they didn't put Rogue on there as Omega level.
I fucking hate you so much, dude.
I'm just glad.
She
That
should
just
be.
Makes you,
She is.
What? Ooh, I suck people's powers away.
Also,
What would her power be? Like, what would her? I mean,
Power
there's no one
absorption.
else. Then no one else has that.
someone
Omega
on
level.
that Rachel Summers does.
Oh, she's the
power
Omega
absorption.
Level?
Yeah, she's
Wow.
Omega level power absorption. So that's why I guess
Oh,
Rogue
so
isn't
she's stronger than Rogue.
for power absorption. Yeah.
Oh, that's remarkable.
But it's I don't know if it's explained in the same way in between the two of them. Like Rogue's is a lot more dramatic.
Yeah, clearly.
Oh,
The other one's like,
also-
I've never lost control. You're weird.
I
Rogue's
watched-
like, I don't know how to do it.
I watched this video earlier today that was Comics Explained that was about Rogue, which
Usually those are pretty good.
I've seen before, and I know the history of Rogue, my favorite character. But I forgot this one thing because it was retconned
Knows
or
everything, huh?
changed. There was a period of time where they discovered that the reason Rogue could not control herself and her abilities was because every time she absorbed somebody, it put up new blocks in her mind that nerfed her ability. She wasn't ever able to fully progress in her mutant power.
Oh.
So Professor X fucking removed them all, and then Rogue was able to control everything. So when she absorbed something, she could choose to absorb someone's memories, their life force, their powers. She could choose what she wanted to do. So she was made pretty fucking overpowered for a little while there, and then they retconned and changed it. And like Mr. and Mrs. X was kind of getting back to that.
In a way.
She wasn't
Not
being
the
able
whole-
to choose.
Yeah.
But then it's like she don't got to touch
She had
you.
control.
Yeah, she had control, and she don't got to touch you. She can just everyone in the room take all their shit. But she took everything at once, and I like that better for Rogue. I don't want her to be able to choose
Yeah,
what she can
because
take.
that's starting to get
But I
old.
like that.
That gets too broken.
Yeah, I like that she doesn't have to touch them and she can control it. I like that
Yes,
development.
I like
of
that.
her. Yeah,
I like her to be able to touch.
Yeah, exactly.
she
I like
doesn't have
her
to
again to
worry
be able
about
to be
getting
married.
touched when she's dying. Yeah.
I want them to have kids. So Xandra's got someone to play with. Where's she at?
They also, did you notice they mentioned Prince? Is there another? Because it said Princess Xandra in one of those.
You sure?
Mm-hmm. Spelled the exact same Xandra.
Are you sure about that?
Mm-hmm.
God, that'd be so fucking dope in the future. Is Xandra the princess? Because she is the daughter
and
of
she's the
Professor X
daughter of-
and the Shi'ar Little Andra, which is the queen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
It was mentioned
That's
that the
Shi'ar
Shi'ar Empire said
yeah.
Princess Xandra.
Are you sure it said that?
100%.
Dude,
That's why I
fucking
freaked out. I was
dope.
like, oh, wait, does that mean she is staying?
well,
'Cause
princess.
technically, she'd be canon.
Princess. She would be empress. So maybe her mom is still alive.
Then her
Her
mom's
mom would be
probably
the
still alive.
emperor.
Yeah.
and she would
but
be
it
the princess.
said Princess Xandra.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
dope, dude.
We need that Omega level.
Or I
up.
guess queen.
What would
be
her
mom,
power?
but
What's
yeah.
her Omega level then? Because she says she's an Omega level weapon.
She would be. I mean,
What's her power?
she seemed like she had telepathy, but she also seemed like she had telekinetic powers too. So maybe she's the Omega level telekinesis.
Oh, maybe, but I thought they had that listed on.
Did they have telekinesis listed?
I feel like they did.
Did they?
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty. I'll look at it
I'd
when
be
I get
surprised,
home.
honestly, if they didn't.
Yeah, I don't know who would be the top telekinetic.
I don't
That's
know.
not Xandra.
Maybe it was one of the unknowns. I don't
Oh,
remember.
okay.
Or maybe it was like Kid Omega or some stupid.
Okay.
Kid Omega's awful.
Okay.
Stupid ass character.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it when I get
And-
home.
Quentin Quire, he's so dumb.
Quentin Quire. I mean, he's got 2 Q's in his name. Of course.
Obviously, he's amazing. already.
Obviously, he sucks.
But I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm digging what Jonathan Hickman is doing right now. The artwork
sure.
is fan-fucking-tastic.
For sure. I've only had the one issue with Professor X's face and powers. Other than that, it's been money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And
like the
powers,
art
yeah, you didn't
style,
like
the
it.
drawing
Yeah.
and stuff like
But yeah,
that.
other than that, the art was pretty
Coloring's
cool.
been great.
Yeah,
Colorist
dude.
money.
I love the designs of like the new looks of the characters, other
Yep.
than Marvel Girl, which isn't new. It's like a
Yeah.
classic design.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I like all that
They
stuff.
don't, but I do.
I like all that stuff. I'm really digging it. Very excited to see where this goes. Super amped for the X-Men moving forward, obviously.
Obviously. Are you excited, Froster?
What?
Alpine Frost?
Oh my God, Froster.
How you doing, Alpine Frost?
I really want more information on the Cardinals and on Rasputin. I'm really interested in those two
For sure.
characters.
I assume we're gonna get a little bit more.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
want
there's
more.
no doubt they seem to focus on them.
Rasputin seemed pretty fucking OP. So,
But she
she's
was
supposed
also
to
only
be-
fighting humans. So.
She has Omega level genes in her, so
That's true.
that doesn't mean she's straight up an Omega level.
No,
But she has,
But
like,
she's at
the
least
imprint.
she's cut from a very very strong cloth.
Exactly, yeah, for sure.
You know?
And I mean, and Cardinal would be too. He's just passive. Like if he's cut from Azazel and Nightcrawler, he's pretty fucking powerful. He's just a passive person.
He's just passive. If he can teleport, that'd be dope.
I mean, yeah, holy shit.
That'd be dope.
Nightcrawler's legit.
Just
dude.
get us out of here. Okay.
Yeah, we need to leave. Poof, let's go.
Bye.
Yeah, Nightcrawler's OP with that shit too.
He could do so much more too.
Oh yeah.
Teleportation,
But
like at an instant, like just
He himself is also a pacifist. That's probably where that failure rate comes
and
from.
that's where that
Because he's a
probably-
pacifist.
That's true.
He hates violence.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I love his voice in Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Oh yeah.
Great voice.
I hate that every like 2 minutes he says something that sounds like I'm down.
I'm down. I'm down. Yeah,
He's
that's
like, no, you're not. Everyone's
that's-
fine.
Yeah.
You got plenty of health, dude.
I'm gonna use them today,
Chill.
so get used to that.
Just so I can hear it a bunch. Yeah.
I'm down. I'm
But
down.
anyways, yeah, make sure you check this series out. Let us know what you think about it. Follow us on all our social medias.
Yeah, Omega Level PCast, Omega Level Podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
My God. Listen to them again now, son. Josh Manhunter, your boy.
You gotta hear my voice twice, back to back, son.
Please.
I'm sorry for that.
If there's any other series that you're reading right now that we're not reading, you think we'd like and want us to check out, make sure you let us know about it. Make sure you tell all your friends we're the best comic book podcast in the fucking world. It's a fact. It's not an opinion.
Whoa.
It's a fucking fact.
Whoa.
We're the Omega level podcast. So in the classification of podcast, we're the Omega, which means nothing can be substantially better than us. These
That's
comic
true.
books prove it. I have evidence.
He has a point. You have a point.
All of that just came together right now.
Man,
As I was saying
just-
it, I was like, oh my
well,
God.
It's because you're Omega Level yourself.
Yeah, I'm a Omega level podcaster, obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not. I'm just under
No,
you.
you're
but
the
it's-
Omega level Jersh.
I'm like made with Omega Level genes, but I'm not technically an Omega Level podcaster.
Exactly, yeah.
But it's
You're
okay.
cut from the
We're
cloth.
getting there. I'm cut from the cloth.
But anyways, we hope you enjoyed the episode.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you tune in and check us out every
next
episode.
time. Check us next week out when we're live. Does that not know?
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves
You're
there.
gonna we're live next week.
Yeah,
Check
thanks
us
for-
out at channel 3, channel 64. We actually getting
No matter where you live, it'll be on those
it will
channels.
be on those channels. We're actually on ESPN for a short segment on Mike and Mike.
But it's on ESPN 8, the Ocho.
Oh man, get out of here, you rat scallions.
All right, thanks for listening.
Peace. Out.